You know, strange adaptations with Warhorse. You've got another one coming up with Great Expectations. What can we expect from that?
Well, Great Expectations is, you know, we haven't had a classical movie version in 60 years, so it's about time we had another, and it's nice to do a movie where we didn't have to get caught up in. I think so many period movies are boring because actors, you tend to get caught up in the etiquette, and you tend to get kind of constricted by it, and two characters saying that they love each other across the room is often, you know, done this very sort of, and you're in the period etiquette, and you're saying, "Oh, I love you," you know, and it's all. I feel like we made a conscious decision not to have that. I mean, you've only got to read Shakespeare to know people fall just violently in love nowadays as they did, you know, hundreds of years ago, and so we've done it in a way that I think is raw and visceral, and the emotions are very much on the surface, and when they break out, it is violent, and it's no different than if you were doing a modern piece. Yeah.
And as you say, there have been a number of versions of it over the years, although not a particularly classical version for a number of years. But one of the classics, of course, is a David Lean one, isn't it, with John Mills in the lead role? What's it feel stepping into those shoes?
Well, that was actually the last classical movie adaptation, and that was 1946. I didn't think about it at all, because it's you know, we had David Nichols writing a script, and I think he wrote as close to a thriller as you can with this kind of movie. I mean, when the book came out, it was called, you know, people said it was a thriller, and I think we tried to get back to that, and yeah, it's a very different movie, as is everyone's. You know, I mean, every adaptation will be different, and this isn't. I haven't gone and looked at other people who've played Pip and go, oh yeah, that'd be nice, let's do that. It's just that, you know, it's all got to come from inside you, I guess, which sounds terribly pretentious, but yeah, you know, that's the way it is.
And you're closing the London Film Festival this year with that film as well. How does that feel?
That feels, you know, it's a huge honour, I guess. I mean, the whole thing's surreal, you know. The fact that it's coming out in a cinema, let alone closing a film festival, is weird. So yeah.
And finally, I just want to ask you a little bit about two other films that you've got coming up, A Night in Old Mexico and also The Railwayman you've got coming up too, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, I've only really just finished both those movies. The Railwayman is a story that I felt an incredible responsibility in doing. It's about a torture victim by the hands of the Japanese on the Death Railway during the Second World War, and I spent time with the real man that I'm playing. So therefore, you feel a certain sense of responsibility that you maybe wouldn't do normally. So I was. You know, things like, I mean, I lost a lot of weight for that movie, and did things that I wouldn't normally do for a role. So that's going to be fascinating. That's with Colin Firth and Nicole Kidman. So I'll be very, very interested to see how that turns out. And the other movie, Night in Mexico, which is comedy and a bit lighter, which is nice. And you know, getting to work with a cinema legend, you know, Robert Duvall, and you know, again, it's a weird and wacky script, and it's fun. It's very original, and that's what always draws me to movies like that.
And finally, hopes and dreams for next projects.
I mean, I'm always reading scripts. There's a real drought of good scripts at the moment. I think there's a lot of regurgitations of stuff we've seen again and again. You know, and finding a good script is tough, and when you do find it, and you find that it's you know, it's a feeding frenzy. You know, every actor kind of goes, oh, finally, it's, you know, something genuinely good, and new, and so it's you know, I certainly say no to a lot more than I say yes to, but you know, there's some few very exciting projects out there. I'd love to go and do some theatre in the next couple of years again. But yeah, we'll see. There's some really exciting stuff being made. So yeah.